Hello everyone, my name is Mark and my presentation is going to be on culture and emergency management. So first of all, what is culture? Well, culture may be viewed in many different ways and it is often complex and difficult to define. Many view the term culture as a way of life which includes characteristics such as knowledge, beliefs, arts, morals, laws, custom, etc. According to the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Culture Organization, UNESCO, the commonly used definition of culture is that a complex whole which includes knowledge, beliefs, arts, morals, laws, customs, and any other capabilities and habits acquired by an individual as a member of society. As we can see within this definition of culture, knowledge is a key part. It is a component of culture which is transferred from one generation to another. So what is the significance of culture in emergency management? Emergency managers and affected communities have particular cultural backgrounds that affect the way they relate to people from their own and other cultures. As already mentioned, knowledge is an important component of culture. This knowledge, which is shared by a group of people, is transferred from one generation to another, and it determines how people perceive the environment and how they act in it. Culture, most of the time, sets boundaries and is mostly an unconscious knowledge. This knowledge, or the lack of it at times, can be a major factor for emergency management. Now, how do we get culture to be better prepared for any emergency situation? By building a culture of resilience. This statement is used to describe the attitude towards making individuals and local communities more reactive and better equipped to cope with disasters. In order to reduce the risk of disasters, building capacity and resilience, there is a need for an integrated approach. An integrated approach is based on developing scientific knowledge and at the same time capacity building from the bottom up. In other words, reinforcing a form of resilience that citizens could enact on their own. This approach in building resilience from the bottom up is acknowledged in the 2005-2015 Hyogo Framework for Action adopted in 2005. This framework, under the name Building Resilience of Nations and Communities to Disasters, focuses on the knowledge, innovation, and education to build a culture of safety and resilience at both grassroots and policy levels around the world. Again, disasters and their risks can be reduced if people are well informed and motivated to adopt a culture of disaster prevention and resilience. Disasters are something that cannot be prevented. At most, you can minimize their impact. This very popular notion is used a lot and is at the very root of some organizations' programs such as ISDR and FEMA. There seems to be a shift from tech-based solutions to educational solutions. For example, the International Strategy for Disaster Reduction, ISDR, is an organization that is using education to build awareness in programs all over the world. Programs such as Let Our Children Teach Us or Disaster Risk Reduction Begins at School are raising awareness within school communities, building a culture of prevention, and making school buildings safer. These initiatives allow for individuals, social groups, and communities more capable of protecting themselves against disasters. Another example of building a culture for emergency management is FEMA. As a concept, whole community is a means by which residents, emergency management practitioners, organizations and community leaders, and government officials can collectively understand and assess the needs of their respective communities and determine the best ways to organize and strengthen their assets, capacities, and interests. The benefits of a whole community approach include a more informed and shared understanding of community risks, greater empowerment and integration of resources from across the community, stronger social structures, establishment of relationships that facilitate more effective prevention, protection, mitigation, response, and recovery activities, increased individual and collective preparedness, greater resilience at both the community and national levels. There are also three principles that represents the foundation for establishing a whole community approach to emergency management. These principles are understand and meet the actual needs of the whole community, engage and empower all parts of the community, strengthen what works well in communities on a daily basis. These principles are essential elements to the resilience of communities and emergency management outcomes. Thank you all for listening to my presentation on culture and emergency management.